Yo, my people, what we saying, man? What we saying? Back with another one. Fatal clinch or that, you get me. But yeah, flipping yeah, man. Obviously this video, yeah. These are three system changes that I really think could turn around Tekken 8 like significantly. Like these changes will save the game, I think. Um, Everyone's saying that the game is like, pass saving and things like that. I genuinely don't think that's the case. Like, I do just think it's just a case of the developers being stubborn and wanting to go for a certain, type of game that the customers just don't want. Um, but yeah, without further ado, the first change I would say is delete heat burst bound. I think this would be absolutely huge, like for the way the game plays, like because a big issue with the game is obviously combo length. We all know like how long the combos are. Casuals don't like super long combos. The pros don't like super long combos. Most people don't like super long combos. You're gonna have the odd 1, 2 weirdos that love looking at cutscenes while they're playing the game and stuff. But outside of that, like most people, I would legit say at least about 98% of the community do not like the super long combos. And obviously Heat Burst Bound lends itself to that. But not only that, Heat Burst Bound is also a free way into Heat once you've launched someone. So like the thing is, a lot of characters do get cheap launchers, right? That they don't really have to earn. Like these launchers will be like evasive or safe on block, like safe down 4-2s or whatever, right? And once they get that launch, boom, heat burst bound in the middle of the combo. They're getting their damage. They're also getting Oki, but they get the heat burst bound as well. And now they're in heat, and now they can just rinse you in heat. And there's loads of rounds where this happens. This happens all the time in Tekken 8, all the time, and you don't feel like it. Literally feels like the fun ends once Heat is activated, and this free way into Heat is just it's not good. It's not good, and you know, I just think if you take away the bound from Heat Burst, like if you just make it so they roll back, same way how they do at the wall after certain knockdowns, you can just hold back and they roll back or whatever. It would be like the problem wouldn't be completely solved, but it would be like, okay, they don't get the combo extension and all of that at the same time. It's just too much. So I do think like nerfing heat burst bound is a big thing, and also you wouldn't get that annoying, interaction where someone just pops heat burst, and then you just happen to be in the air for whatever reason, and then they spike you to the ground and get a free combo. So yeah, I do think if you just delete those, the heat burst bound. I personally would be in favor of deleting the heat burst altogether, just like how Guilty Gear Strive did with that mechanic. I know that heat burst bound, heat burst has been in the game from the start, but I just do think heat burst is just a terrible mechanic that should just never exist. Anyway, next change that I would think could turn around this game is if you delete heat dash launchers. I said this from literally probably season 1. Heat dash launchers, I just think they're too much. Like, because the moves that they come from are just overpowered moves. It could be Demon's Paws. It could be like half screen moves like Clive's 1+2 or whatever. And, getting a full launch for moves that just have that much option coverage is just insane, man. It's just crazy. It literally is crazy. You get robbed by so many rounds like that. And then on top of that, if you block it, they're +5. They're +5. Do you know what I mean? It's silly, man. Like heat dash launchers, they shouldn't exist. And the thing is, what determines whether a move is a heat dash launcher or not? It doesn't seem like there's a cut out thing. It just seems like whether Michael Murray wants this move to heat dash launch or not. That's why it seems like it's just it don't make sense to me. Like I think a ground hit's enough. A ground hit is enough. Like because you're getting the extra damage anyway. Do you get what I mean? So the next change would be make heat dash zero on block. Like everyone's trying to do these gymnastics. Like oh yeah, like mental gymnastics. Like oh, you know, like -5 frames of whatever it is, and da 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 da. But then that causes loads of issues, mathematical issues. It's not hard. It's fixed. +5 right now. Right, fixed. All you have to do is fix it to zero. You know why that works as well? Because you attempted to do a move that would have led to extra damage. So you should give up whatever frame advantage you could have had anyway, because if it did hit, you would have got the damage. It makes complete sense. It's not hard. Just make it zero. Push it back to neutral. Even put a little bit of pushback on it. Just push it back to neutral. That problem solved instantly. These problems, these changes could be implemented by a modder tomorrow. Like and yeah, like what I want to say is as well, budget is not the issue. People that are coping and saying, "Oh yeah, budget, this, that, the other." Oh, that's why they can't do it, and that just like, what are you on about, bro? We're coming from the the um the best-selling Tekken game. We coming like Tekken 7 was the best-selling one, if I'm not mistaken, or it had a super big amount of sales, 12 million or something like that. They've got budget, bro. They literally put in a DLC story for Heihachi, and no one even wanted Heihachi to come back like that. Like, it wasn't that deep. We was fine with him being gone. They did DLC story, and it was a terrible story, but that shit cost money. Yeah. These lot have got budget. It's not a budget thing. It's a stubbornness thing. These changes don't cost anything to implement. You just need someone to go on a computer and change some values, and it's fine. And then that boom, bam. You know what I mean? Of course, rolling out a patch here takes some money. They've got the money, man. But they're going to roll out patches anyway, so they've obviously got the money. They've got the money to roll out these fucking bug patches and all this stuff. That shouldn't have even been a thing in the first place. And they've got money to put out patches that no one likes. It hurts the game sales. But they've got the money to put that out. Are you telling me they ain't got the money to actually make a good patch? Like, get out of here, man. Mental gymnastics. So, this is where I admit, I kind of clickbaited you a bit, to be fair. Because, right, you would think that I'm saying this because I believe that these guys, you know what I mean, like with the dev portal and all that, would listen, and do you get what I mean? Like, they would put the changes in, and then, you know what I mean, eventually they make it, a good Tekken. I don't think that's the case, yeah. I think we're past that, right? We passed that a long time ago, but I want to, like, what I really want to do is tell you the real reasons why we're in this position right now, in my opinion, yeah. Like, I believe that this is the truth, right? I might not be right on everything, but this is what I believe is the truth, yeah, about these situations. So, I think I have nailed who Tekken 8 is actually designed for. And it's not who they're telling you it's designed for. Yeah? They're liars. Remember, we all know this, they're liars. I personally think Tekken 8 is designed for, not for casuals and not for pros. It's designed for, do you know those kind of like hard stuck blue rank players, kind of those level players that put in time into the game, but for whatever reason they just can't improve. Like they struggle to learn, and they struggle to improve, and they're just hard stuck. Those Jason Montoya kind of players where like he's got like how many games on Horang and he's just stuck, like, and he hates backdash as well, and he hates skill gaps, and this is who I think the game is designed for. Those kind of like intermediate players that just are stuck, and they can't progress. They can't improve. They just aren't doing what it takes to improve. They've got their priorities wrong. They're not labbing properly. They're still stuck in the same flow chart that they was doing 3 years ago. Like, this is who I think the game's designed for, and I personally think Michael Murray is one of those players. Like, I've seen the devs play. I've seen the devs play. I've seen Michael Murray play. I've seen Nikatsu play. Right, Michael Murray's backdash cancel is back. Yeah, that thing that they implemented where you can backdash a bit faster by mashing back. That's what he does. Yeah, he doesn't Korean backdash cancel. This is a dev for the game. This is a guy who has been working on this game for years on end, and he doesn't backdash cancel, Korean backdash cancel. Why not? Why not? It's not even that hard to do. It's literally like, once you understand the concept and you do it and you get used to it. It's very rewarding, and you know what I mean. It's a necessary thing to Korean backdash cancel. It's part of the game. He doesn't do it, right? And you know what I mean. He flowcharts with Fak and Ram. He's aggressive, whatever. Like, but I just don't see Michael Murray being a player that is progressing and, you know what I mean, like getting better, and one of those players that really values getting better as a player. I feel like Michael Murray is one of those players that expects the game to do the work for him, and that's why the game is like this now. Because think about it, right? Like, while Harada was in charge, up in Tekken 1 to 7, yeah, we've never had a Tekken with a meter system, right? Michael Murray takes over in season 3 of Tekken 7. The first Tekken that comes out after he takes over is Tekken 8 with Heat meter system. Yeah. Come on, it's plain as day. His influence on the game is plain as day. Like, let's stop doing the mental gymnastics. Let's stop pretending like we don't know who's like doing it. And is it really Nikatsu? Is it really Michael Murray? It's both of them. Nikatsu killed Soul Calibur, yeah, and now he is in charge of the balance in this game, yeah. He literally said he's gonna okay the balance changes. He's gonna look over them and he's gonna implement them. He's gonna say whether, you know what I mean, have the final say. And we got season 3. Nikatsu okayed that, yeah. Like, I think these two are both issues, and I think they're both part of the problem. Both of these two guys, yeah. And I do think Harada left because he like, part of him couldn't deal with working with these kind of people no more. And I do think that Michael Murray and Nikatsu are friends with the higher executives, and they share the same vision. But the thing is, okay, Harada's not the greatest at Tekken. We've seen him play. He's not the greatest, right? But the thing with Harada was, he understood that listening to the players and the competitive players and the guys in the arcades and stuff, it was the best thing for the game. He understood that. There's interviews of him explaining that. But Michael Murray, for example, doesn't feel that way. In fact, Michael Murray, here's what I actually believe about Michael Murray. I think that he has a backwards way of thinking, right? And he actually he believes, right, that it's unfair to newcomer players and you know, intermediates or whatever. It's unfair to those guys that haven't put in as much time as the pros or whatnot. It's unfair to them that they are losing to people that are better than them. Do you get what I mean? My bad. Sorry about this. Flipping. Let me get the thing open again. Yeah, he believes that it's unfair to them. He feels like everyone should have a chance, and you know, it shouldn't matter if that guy's put 10 years into the game and you've only put in 2 years of the game. It's unfair. That guy who put in 2 years should be able to smoke that guy that's put in 10 years. That has actually improved and done that. That's what he thinks. When really and truly, in reality, it's the opposite. The guy who's put the most time and the most money and the most blood, sweat, and tears into the game should be rewarded with being able to, you know, beat people that aren't as good as him. That's how you make a game that's competitively respected, and people want to put time into the game and don't feel like they're robbed of their time and money. So yeah. Um, okay, the Mori influence on Ram and the Bruce situation. I want to go over this, right? Because this situation holds a close place to my heart. Because Bruce was my main, right, from Tag 2. And I waited a long time for Bruce to come back, right? And they admitted that they were designing a character who was obviously Bruce, but once they changed him so much, they just called him something else. They made him something else, right? And obviously, I went to Thailand and I saw the reveal for Ram, and I was devastated, right? But what basically happened, if you really look at the situation, I genuinely believe that in season 2, when Harada was in charge, they were developing Bruce, right? Harada then stepped up, right? Or whatever. I slyly kind of think that he was pushed out. You've got those guys that get very, very close to the boss. And, they could start, you know what I mean? They start playing the game and they start being very friendly with the boss and all that, and they want that promotion. They really want that promotion. Remember, there's money. That when you get that role, you get extra money, right? And, I feel like, for some reason, he was kind of pushed out, and Mori took control, or something happened where Mori got control when he shouldn't have. He didn't deserve to get control of the game, right? Anyway, they were developing Bruce in season 2. Mori took over. It just so happened that Bruce was still in development, and Mori, with his influence, started to change Bruce. And because obviously, you know what Mori's like. He likes that no counterplay, unblockables. Look how broken Ram was when he come out. Yeah. And he changed Bruce to Ram, what we have now, who is way less liked than Bruce. Obviously, you have people that like Ram. I get it. He's a Muay Thai character. Most Muay Thai characters are badass. Let's keep it real, but they ain't Bruce. Bruce was the most realistic representation of Muay Thai in a fighting game ever till this day, and I stand on that. So yeah, Mori's influence on the Ram Bruce situation, that's what I think happened. I genuinely think, because remember, people that say, oh, Michael Mori's influence, like, come on. As soon as he took over in season 3, remember, Kaz's Hell Sweep got made homing. Kaz's Hell Sweep has never been homing for the history of flipping Tekken. This guy takes over and he's homing, and he defended it on Twitter with the famous quote. You know the famous quote. So let's stop doing the mental gymnastics and stop pretending that Mori doesn't have mad influence over the game. He really does. He really does. So yeah. Okay. Here's the thing I want to touch on as well. What the real reasons why Tag 2 was a bad game. Yeah. Bad Tekken game. Yeah. First of all, in most areas, Tag 2 was a downgrade from Tekken 6. Like, in most areas, customization, offline modes, graphics even, it was a downgrade. And I would personally say the gameplay was downgraded as well, because, right, here's a big part about Tag 2 that nobody talks about, yeah, and it was robberies, yeah. The fact that you could tag in a character that has a full health bar with rage. That's huge, bro. That is robberies. That is robberies beyond belief. Like, remember in Tekken 6, rage used to activate late, very late. Like, I forgot what the percentage of health is. I forgot whether it's 10% or something, but it was actually a strategy. You could keep someone out of rage. Now it's pretty much impossible to keep someone out of rage. Let's keep it real. But you could really like strategize and keep someone out of rage. Like, rage robberies weren't as, prevalent as they are now. Anyway, Tag 2, you could, like, once you use Tag Assault, yeah, which was, the tag filler where the other person comes in and does whatever, right? The other person gets given rage, so that person could tag in with the rage, sorry. And, yeah, and they can just rob you. they can just rob you. It was robberies, man. And on top of that, on ranked, you could do solo versus tag as well, which was robberies as well, like the way the health worked, and the solo person could regen health, and it was just so weird, man. Like, it was just all over the place. So the real reason as well why Tag 2 catered towards casuals, contrary to popular, no, catered towards pros, contrary to the popular belief. Oh yeah, it's movement. Because Michael Murray, there's that clip going around now. Michael Murray say, oh yeah, it was two sides. They used to sidestep too much, and it was the movement that made it. The pros. You get what I'm saying? Basically dominate the game. That's not the case. The main reason why that game was catered towards the pros, right, is because that game was knowledge checky AF. Knowledge check central, bro. You got two characters on the screen, and both of them have over 100 moves. Of course, legacy players that know most of these characters inside out from Tekken 6 and etc. are gonna be way more prepared to deal with these matchups than people that have no idea what's going on with the characters. Of course, that's gonna be the main thing. Of course, having good movement helps the better player win, but that's not the be all and end all. It was more the knowledge check stuff, because if you got hit with one launcher in that game, it could be a long day, man. It could be a long day. Like, you've seen the combo damage, yeah. So those are that was the real issue with tag, I believe. Those issues that are laid out there. Downgrade for Tekken 6, too knowledge checky, very random in terms of, like, just the way it played and the damage, and with the rage, coming in with rage and all that. It was a robbery game. It really was robberies. And I dropped Tekken after a while of playing Tag 2. I didn't like Tag 2. I did not like Tag 2 like that. After, like, when that was the game that was about, and everyone was playing Tag 2, I was like, nah, I'm not messing with this, man. And a lot of people didn't. The sales reflect, yeah, the game. You know what I'm saying? The game being bad. You know what I'm saying? The sales reflect. And it wasn't down to movement, man. It really wasn't, because the movement was very, very, very similar in Tekken 6, but it sold better. The movement was even better in Tekken 5, and it sold way better. Do you get what I mean? So how comes now? Do you know what I mean? Like, allow it. I'm not hearing the argument. So yeah, I just want to say, like, I'm pretty sure, this game is not going to fundamentally change while Nikatsu and Mori are in charge. Because here's the thing: the changes that we want and the system changes that we want, yes, it does make sense in our minds. It does. It really does, and it makes sense for even them as a business standpoint. But these changes will result in better players being more consistent over their opponents, which is not what Michael Murray wants. He has admitted that he wants worse players to beat better players. He's admitted this. They have admitted this, and I'm kind of sure that, like, they're the only game where the devs have came out and admitted something like that, where they want worse players to beat better players. I have never heard developers of any other game say that ever. So this is the thing. This is the reason why they haven't nerfed the system properly yet and things like that. Like, people are like, why haven't they done it? I don't understand. It's because they do not want that. They don't want better players being consistent. They don't like it. This is why they will buff sidestep, but they won't buff backdash, because they know you buff backdash, better players are going to start getting better results. They're going to be starting to make things whiff, like the neutral skip stuff whiff, and they're not going to have to guess on moves that track way too much on what side to step and all of this. Like, they could just space it out. They could space out your heat engager and launch you and take the whole round from there. And they'll space out your running free into stance and launch you, and they can avoid the forced mix-ups. This is why they won't buff backdash. They know this. They're aware of this. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Michael Murray said he wants Heat Burst to have armor on it. He said that, yeah. He literally said that he wanted Heat Burst to have armor on it, and it got implemented. It got implemented. Yeah, his influence on the game, obviously, you know what I mean. Like, it never used to have armor on it. It didn't have to, you know what I mean. It didn't have to be that way. But he thought, you know what, we need Heat Burst needs to be better. These times it was already flipping homing, and he's like, Heat Burst needs to be better. Do you get what I mean? And you know, it needs to be armored and that. So yeah. Me personally, I think we need like a new game. I think we need a new kind of like Tekken-like game with different developers with a different mindset. And you've got this guy, I think his name's Alcaraz or something like that, and he's made this Rush game. I'm on board, man. I'm on board. Like it's Tekken movement and it's like fundamentals, no robbery mechanics in it. You know, and he wants to build like a Tekken-like game from the ground up. And this is what I think we need. I think we need like developers or like a big developer, or like some people need to invest into him or something. You know, we need developers to make a movement-based Tekken without all the robbery mechanics, without all the silliness, and then we just flock over to that game and leave Tekken 8 to die. That's what I feel like. You know, I do feel like Tekken 8 needs to die. I want the game, like, it sounds really bad, but I want Tekken 8 to die because it's not. Come on, the devs are lying to us. It's a joke. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can play it every now and then, but my competitive dream died from like basically when Leroy got released. Basically, like you know what I mean? I was flying out in season 2 ever since then. Nah, man. Like the competitive dreams died. Like, I don't see myself ever competing seriously again. Like, if I ever, you know, enter a tournament, it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be for the bants, really. It's not gonna be because I really want to get somewhere and nah, it's not. It's not that, man. Yeah, man. It's sad what's happened to Tekken, man. But yo, everything good. You know what I mean? Everything good comes to an end, innit? And you know, it might be that for Tekken, but someone might pick up the slack, man. Someone might make a new game that, like, nothing's stopping them from making a new game. Look at shooters. Shooters take mechanics from other shooter games and they rob them all the time. All the time. So there's nothing stopping a fighting game developer taking Tekken movement and putting it in their game. There's nothing stopping that. Like, I would love VF to do that. Imagine if like VF put in like KBD in VF or something. Like, yo, you know we'll be on that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be a bit of a different game, but yeah, man, like, let's go for it. Do you know what I mean? Because that's one of the core bits of Tekken is like being able to move freely and like force the whiffs and like, you know what I mean, and really make the game go down to timing more than, you know, just, you know, forced guesses and stuff. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it from me. I just wanted to make that video and just like really get off my chest what I think is going on right now and just like give some people some clarity, because I feel like a lot of people are confused and they're head in hands and they don't really know what's going on, and you know what I mean. But I feel like personally I've got a very clear mind on what's going on right now, and yeah, that's it. So let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, man, I'll catch you later.